Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Glad you're with us today. What we're going to talk about now, fun topic actually, we're going to talk about the health benefits of cuddling. Now, we like cuddling. Most people like cuddling anyway. But there's a lot of health benefits to incorporate this into your life. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with someone you love. Well, it's always with someone you love. But it could be with children, could be with a significant other. But there's so many health benefits to it. And we've done studies on, they've done it inadvertently on people, but the importance of human touch. And they've done this with primates, and they've had the primates, and they would not give them any type of contact with either primate mother or father or humans, and their health declined dramatically. So we are a gregarious creature. Gregarious means we like to be around other people, but we're also tactile. And if you ever read a book, it's called The 5 Languages of Love, I think it is, The 5 Love Languages. Great book, by the way, because different people have different what this doctor called love languages. And these are the things that make them happy. And I'm not sure if I'll remember all 5, but it's touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, and gifts. Oh, I remember them. Okay. And it's a great thing to do, and I have no association with the author who wrote this book at all, but different people have different love languages. So, for example, my producer, his name is Joe, he's right here with me, and let's assume his love language is gifts. And I give Joe a gift, even if it's something simple, like, oh, Joe, I saw this pen here, I thought you might be cool. That's going to make him feel very good. Now, if he doesn't like, let's say, quality time, I'll say, hey, man, let's go out and let's go spend some time together. That's not something he's going to enjoy. And I think, well, I want to spend time with him. He's going to enjoy it. That's not how the body works. So the 5 languages of love, really neat information. And one of those is physical touch. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic physical touch. It could just be a pat on the back, a handshake, grab somebody's shoulder. So physical touch can be one of what we call love languages. But there's benefits, health benefits to doing this. So one of them that is right off the top is it can ease stress. So if you cuddle with someone you care about, and again, not even have to cuddle, but just some type of human contact, your body releases a hormone called oxytocin. And that calms you down and makes it more likely to deal with the stress better. For example, you might laugh, distract yourself, or try to solve a problem. This can help lower blood pressure. This can lower levels of a hormone called cortisol, and that can help you deal with the stress as well. Now, oxytocin. Oxytocin is a chemical released in the brain, and it's a bonding neurotransmitter. What does that mean? When a mother hugs a child, you release oxytocin. You bond to the child. If you're breastfeeding is a lot of oxytocin is released. So the mother bonds to the child. So, people who are smarter than me, I guess, feel that that's an instinctive way that we bond to our children, because if you've ever raised a child, there are times where you don't want to be a parent anymore. You want to give the kid back. Every parent has gone through it. It's not a bad thing to feel it. Don't worry. It's normal. You want to give the kid back. You can't take this anymore. This kid's driving me crazy. How am I going to live my life like this? Well, if you have a lot of oxytocin, you bond to that person. And so in a relationship, if it's a romantic relationship, or even with children, holding hands also helps release oxytocin. Hugging releases oxytocin. So oxytocin is that neurotransmitter that bonds you to people. When it comes to romance, women more so than men, when women are involved in let's say, a pleasurable romantic situation, they'll release a lot of oxytocin, which can bond them to their mate. For men, not so much oxytocin being released. So it's not so much as a bonding event. So oxytocin is pretty cool, but instead of going to that level to release oxytocin, you can do something simple as hug or cuddle. And that oxytocin is released. It's pretty neat stuff. And that's why it's really important, folks, if you have a kid, to play with them, to hug them, to hold their hand, to cuddle with them, to read to them. That physical touch can bond you to that child. And if you've raised a child, there are going to come times where that child starts to drift away, and you're going to think you're a horrible parent or you didn't do something right. One of the ways we can kind of get around that is help build up that oxytocin level. So it's kind of neat. Cuddling can also help your heart. It's good for your heart because it lowers your blood pressure and brings your stress levels down. Scientists say it's clearer that women get this benefit from cuddling, but it seems true for both sexes, but a lot of research has been done on women. Now, when you're under stress, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. Now, cortisol is made in your kidneys. It's released into the body in your adrenals, which sit on top of your kidneys. It's released into the body, and it's your stress hormone. Now, short-term cortisol is really important for survival. So right now, wherever you are, gunshot goes off. Your body's going to release cortisol. You're going to get blood is going to rush away from your organs into your muscles. Your pupils are going to dilate. You're going to be ready to protect yourself. The danger passes. The cortisol levels drop. That's normal. For a lot of us, those cortisol levels stay high on a regular basis, and that's chronic stress. Chronic stress, very dangerous. Because one of the things that happens with chronic stress is it causes you to start to lay down fat. It causes you to store fat. Fat then becomes a living, breathing organ and releases estrogen. Estrogen is a growth hormone and can cause you to lay down more fat. So fat produces estrogen, which produces fat, which produces estrogen. And cortisol can cause you to gain weight. So cuddling can help lower that cortisol level. Your cortisol is supposed to be high in the morning, and as the day goes on, it's supposed to drop. Now, if you want your cortisol tested, we can do a test in our office. It's a saliva test. It's real simple. We give you a little kit. You spit in it several times a day. We run tests on it. We can determine where your cortisol levels are. If your cortisol levels stay high all day, that's a real big red flag. And then we have to find out why you're so stressed out. Is it a physical problem? Is it a chemical problem? Is it an emotional problem? But cuddling or touching can actually help reduce that cortisol level. It's also good for relieving pain. And as a doctor and a pain management expert, cuddling can give you more than just moral support after an injury. Oxytocin that is released when you hug or cuddle can help block certain pain signals. It works so well that doctors are trying to figure out how to treat people with a man-made form of this. If we can put this in a pill, so to speak, that'd be pretty cool. So for pain management, this is something that's very effective as well. It can fight colds and build your immune system. Hugs from people you trust may protect you against common viruses, especially if you are under a lot of stress. So if you're really sick, cuddling might help keep those symptoms from getting worse. So this human contact thing is so important. But again, it has to be welcome human contact. Otherwise, you're under stress and cortisol levels go high with someone you trust. And that's really important. So cuddling is kind of fun. It can connect you, of course, to your partner because oxytocin, also called a love hormone, a connection hormone, you often have more of it in your blood if you hug your partner a lot. Couples who cuddle and kiss freely tend to be happier, healthier, and less stressed. I'm a big fan of hand-holding. I think hand-holding is really important because, again, it's human contact, but it's creating that oxytocin. It's creating that bonding neurotransmitter. So it doesn't have to be a romantic cuddle necessarily. It could be something as simple as holding your hand. Now, I remember being a kid, and I have very fond memories, crossing a street. And my grandparents lived in a place called Bud Lake, New Jersey. And they had a house on one side of the street, and then Route 46, I think it was. On the other side of the street, they actually had an old candy store. Many before I was born, they actually ran a candy store. And then it was run down, but they had this big piece of land over there. And my cousins and I would cross the street, and then we'd play. They had a little swamp there, and we'd cut down cattails. We called them punks back then. And we'd run around, and they had a little go-kart. We had a lot of fun. But I do remember very vividly, all my cousins, we all held hands, and my grandfather was in the middle, and we crossed the highway together. And so that's a good memory. That's a nice memory I have. And it was from that contact, that human contact. So even holding hands with my cousins was a lot of fun. So it's very good. It helps connect you with the people that you're holding hands with. Cuddling can also help you sleep. Oxytocin is that magic ingredient, once again, probably because it has a calming effect. But some people wake up often after they fall asleep if they're in a spooning position. So if you cuddle and you're spooning, and then, of course, you got to roll over, get to your separate side of the bed, that's okay. You can still get a lot out of it even after just a few minutes of spooning and cuddling. So these are benefits. And as parents, of course, a child's going to get to a point in their lives where they're too big to cuddle. They're not going to want to cuddle with you, and it's a little weird too. But try to get that contact in when you can. It's important that a child knows that it's safe and that this is what safety looks like. Some people don't have that benefit. That's I can get on a soapbox on that. And that always has long-term implications. We become our parents. We become victims of our past. We all do. And so if you have fond memories, that's going to make your adult life a whole lot easier. So you as an adult have a job. Your job as an adult is to give unconditional love. It's not the child's job, it's your job. And that was great advice I got a long time ago. So when you think, well, my kid doesn't listen to me, my kid won't sit still, my kid won't cuddle with me, it's not their job. Our job as adults is to give unconditional love to the children. And I know sometimes you think you want to trade them in and get a new model. You can't do that. But when you understand that that's your duty, then you say, okay, I'm just doing my job, ma'am. I'm going to give this unconditional love to the child. With newborns, we talked a little bit about this earlier, this is so important. Parents who cuddle their babies, especially skin to skin, are closer to the babies and are more tuned in to the baby's needs. Research shows that dads are likely to get more involved if they cuddle their child skin to skin, and mothers may not feel as stressed or sad. Babies may cry less, sleep better, and breastfeed sooner. I've talked a lot about breastfeeding over the years. Women, please, if you can breastfeed, and almost everyone can, I strongly advise that you do. And in fact, if we have time, let me go off on a tangent here for a second. Regarding breastfeeding, there's a baby formula lawsuit that's out, and it can lead to a condition where it's called NEC, where the baby's digestive system doesn't form properly. And what it is the basis is the baby formula lawsuits is that research has long shown that giving cow's milk to a preemie is associated with NEC, and the manufacturers of these formulas knew this for years and did nothing about it. So the way to avoid this, especially for premature babies, is to give them breast milk. It's called necrotizing enterocolitis, NEC, and it's a very serious, potentially fatal disease primarily occurring in premature infants. What happens is bacteria invades the intestinal wall. This leads to inflammation and infection, and this NEC, this necrotizing enterocolitis, can decrease oxygen supply to the vital organs, and ultimately, it can eat away at the baby's bowels. So another benefit of breastfeeding is you're not going to give your baby cow's milk. Now, I've never been a fan of cow's milk. If you listened to the show before, I'm not a fan of eating any animal products at all, because the research is clear as day that the health benefits that might be there are far outweighed by the negative impact of eating animal products. And so this was another thing that came up. So the symptoms of necrotizing enterocolitis include metabolic acidosis, abdominal distension, feeding intolerance, jaundice, green fluid in the abdominal wall. It's progressive, and usually a good pediatrician is going to pick up on it. So it's not something you might start to realize something's wrong. Good pediatrician should be able to diagnose it for you. In addition, clinical symptoms, diagnostic tools include blood testing, cultures, abdominal imaging, blood gas levels. And the treatment is to get the baby nutrition because the baby's bowels are all inflamed, and sometimes you have to do this by a feeding tube. So I've talked many times about I'm not a fan of giving a baby dairy products or anybody dairy products. But now we're finding out that these formula companies knew this existed and didn't tell the pediatrician. So it's only the formulas that have cow's milk in them. So once again, we'll put this in the Dr. Joe is right column. I don't want to be right about this one, folks, but it's a real serious issue that's coming out. So please, if you have children, I'd recommend breastfeeding for always, if at all possible. And not only is it going to, that cuddling, that bonding, the oxytocin that's going to be released, it's also going to help prevent things like giving the baby dairy products. This was on premature babies, but I'd still recommend breastfeeding for anyone at all. I was never breastfed. My mother at the time, back when I was a child, I remember my mother said someone told her that only animals breastfeed. One statement from one person changed my life dramatically because my mother was young. She was like 24 years old at the time. And there wasn't the internet and there wasn't a lot of discussion. You didn't talk about sex and breastfeeding and everything like that. So one person said one thing to my mother, I was not breastfed. And as a child, horrible allergies. Oh my gosh, I was sick all the time. I remember my mother giving me pills, something called the Easter pill. And it was an antihistamine, I guess. I don't even know. It tasted horrible. But I had this situation where I was given this pill every day, which then messed up my digestive system, my immune system. So I was sick all the time. One person, one statement dramatically adversely affected my life. So had my mother not heard that, she would have breastfed, because she breastfed my sister who was older than me, but she didn't breastfed me because one person said that. And she didn't want to, she was trying to be cool as a 24-year-old. And so she didn't do it. So I cannot stress enough the benefits that you can give yourself and your child by breastfeeding them. So it's important to bond to the child. Now, when it comes to cuddling, sometimes it's very painful. If your back hurts, your neck hurts, you can't get in a comfortable position, you have trouble walking, maybe you need a cane, and you can't have that physical contact. And that's where our clinic might be of benefit to you. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, folks, come see us. Stop suffering needlessly. The biggest complaint I get, 37 years in practice, the biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer for so many years with health problems and nobody told me that chiropractic care might be my answer? So if you'd like to make an appointment with us, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Whether it's pain issues, digestive issues, nutrition issues, we try to get to the cause of the problem and not just treat the symptoms. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. We have offices in the Atlanta area, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We would love to be your doctors. We would love the opportunity to work with you to try to put together a healthcare plan. A lot of you have health insurance, but don't have a healthcare plan. And my team of doctors are really good at saying, okay, let's get the spine working, digestive system working, diet straightened out, supplements. Let's get you on some supplements. I can't imagine not taking supplements every day. And especially the two main ones are Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're two powders. They taste great. I mix them with coconut milk, almond milk. We talked earlier, put some cinnamon in there if you want to. I put my omega-3, not my omega-3s, my vitamin D3 in there. Shake it up and drink it every day. Sometimes I'll throw a frozen banana in there, whip it up, make a smoothie out of it. I can't imagine why you're not taking Super Greens and Essential Source right now. Very inexpensive, amazing benefits. And if you're healthier, you're not only healthy from a disease standpoint, but you can be healthier in your relationships. Because a lot of times relationships are affected because people are in pain. They're sick. Their brain isn't working properly. They're tired all the time. They have inflammation. So if you'd like to make an appointment, drjoe.com. For our listeners, normally the first visit is $712. For our listeners, it's only $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, going over the x-rays on your second visit, complete nutrition evaluation, your first treatment, all of that's included. And the x-rays alone can cost more than $299. So we want to introduce you to a protocol where you can naturally get well and stay well. We want to help you do that. And if you're ready to get well, drjoe.com. We accept people with all insurances. If you're ever in a car accident, please come see us immediately. The sooner you get to us, the better you're going to be. Even if you cause the accident. If you watch a lot of these attorneys, a lot of them are scam artists on TV, come see us right away. If you're in an accident, it's not your fault, come see us. Well, if you cause the accident, you're still hurt. You didn't mean to cause it. You're still hurt. Come see us, drjoe.com, and come see us right away. We can usually get you an appointment within 24 hours on weekdays. If you have any questions, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. It's a little bot that pops up, and it says, hey, you want to chat? Send us your questions. Put in your email address. I'll get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. So any questions about anything, drjoe.com. Also, I want you to follow us on social media, at Dr. Joe Esposito. We post almost every day, a lot of good information. No charge, of course, if you follow us on social media to get the information. And we give away things sometimes. We give away concert tickets. We give away supplements. I've got a Dole ice cream maker. We're going to give that away pretty soon. So if you follow us on social media, we're going to give it away to somebody who's one of our followers. So at Dr. Joe Esposito, please do that as quickly as you can. So a few more benefits of cuddling. Gosh, we're running out of time here. We talked about your benefit, but also the baby's benefit. Cuddling can boost an infant's oxygen level. That can calm their breathing, ease pain signals. So babies are in pain. It can help calm them down. And if you're underweight baby, it can increase your risk of survival. So it's really important that you have that bonding time. Now, the question came up the other day. A patient said, Doc, I love cuddling my dog. Dogs may not benefit the way humans do. They don't get the same reaction that we do. Now, you might misread your signals from your dog, but if their ears are back and their eyes are turned away, that could be a sign of stress, not happiness. So Fido, your little puppy, would probably rather that you pat them or scratch them or pet them as opposed to cuddle with them. Dogs don't have the same reactions humans do. And this is an interesting study. People are asked to hug a human-shaped cushion with a built-in phone and talk to a partner through the device. So you got that? You're basically talking to your partner with this doll. Results showed they got one of the big benefits. It lowered their stress hormones. It lowered cortisol. So scientists are studying the effect to see if it might boost social support, because so many times people are not seeing each other, and we have these long-distance relationships. So would it work if you actually cuddle a doll or a mannequin and talk to your significant other? Studies are showing it might be. So we like contact. And some people don't like being touched. Many times that might be an issue. Maybe something happened in their childhood. So if there is an issue with that, I support the fact that you might want to go see a counselor. I'm a huge advocate of people seeking mental health and counseling because the three things we're never taught. We're never taught how to make money. We're never taught how to have a relationship. And we're never taught how to stay healthy. Those are the three things I feel that every curriculum in every school should have. None of them do. So when it comes to your health, I would like to be the person to help you get well and stay well. So if you'd like to make an appointment to come see us, drjoe.com. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Normally, the first visit and part of the second visit is $712. For our listeners, $299. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first adjustment, going over the x-rays, complete nutrition evaluation on a second visit. All of that included. We want to give you the opportunity to experience what it's like to get well and stay well. Now, if you have a health question, you could send it to us through the website, drjoe.com, or in our search bar. It's a really simple thing we have in the website. Type in what you're looking for. Cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes. I would probably say we get sometimes 5, 6, 7, 10 people a day saying, Dr. Joe, I have high cholesterol. Dr. Joe, I have high blood pressure. Dr. Joe, I have women's hormone issues. Type it in the search bar. You can listen to the show. Now, if you want to send me the question, I'll gladly send you the link. But all you have to do is type it in the website, and you can listen to it yourself. And then if you want to make an appointment, you can do it right online. It's real easy. Or you can call us. We're happy to do that for you as well. I want you to follow us on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito, and that's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, because we post almost every day. We have a lot of videos. Oh God, with probably over 1,000 hours of videos on our YouTube channel. So if you're a visual learner, you can access that through YouTube or right through our website. And you can access videos, you can access audios. We have blogs that we write. We send out a newsletter, so send us your email address. We're happy to put you on our newsletter list. So we want to make getting well and staying well as easy as possible. And the supplements, we talked about the minimum supplements everybody should be taking would be Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders. They taste great. They're on the website, drjoe.com. Joe, my personal assistant, he does the shipping for us. He'll even put a little recipe in there on how to make smoothies with it. But you can just shake it up with coconut milk or almond milk, not dairy. Okay, I'm not a big fan of dairy products, animal milk. And the supplements help reach that new level of health that you never knew existed. So combination of chiropractic care, keeping the nervous system healthy, making sure your digestive system is working properly, and eating the right foods and taking the right supplements, now you're healthy enough to cuddle, to touch, to raise other people, to help the world get better, because you can't help other people if you're sick. And we want to help get you well and keep you well without drugs and surgery. Once again, the website, drjoe.com. Any questions, send them through the website. Catch you next time.